every time I see him, I'm glad Jake is not the dude who will, and I don't think he'll ever do it. And I hope he never does, but I hope he never gets like Ozempic thin. Like I hope that never crosses his mind to ever do.
Honestly, I hope he does. I hope he gets real hot.
No.
I hope he gets real hot and becomes a giant piece of shit.
Oh, if he became a real like a real asshole,
garbage man,
so
leaves his wife, he's just like
never talks about his kids ever again.
He goes back to that fucking what, the ball pit gym he went to and just beats the shit out of everybody.
Punches everyone in the face. Just waits at the bottom of the foam to come out like Jaws and pull people down.
Yeah, no one can go into the ball pit.
Oh man, that would be so fucking funny.
Because hot Jake is down there?
Yeah, we can't. We have a problem with hot Jake Matera.
I would love that. I would absolutely love it.
He actually starts fucking so many chicks, he changed his name to Jake Mattress.
Ooh.
Come on. Come on. Come on, dude. You know how good that was?
I mean, I thought that could also be a fat guy thing.
What?
He's so fat we should just start calling him Jake Mattress.
No, I would never. It would only be funny if Jake broke a bed. It would only be cool if like Jake physically broke a bed just getting into a bed. Oh, then I would call.
See,
him.
now I thought you were talking about fucking again.
Oh no, that's the whole thing. If he became a hot guy, he's like, I break beds. Yeah. You know what I do? It's not my weight that breaks it.
Yeah.
I think if Jake, that's the other thing. If I was a big dude, I think, and I had like, you know, I don't know, weight loss surgery and weight loss drugs, they freak me out because like I see people who do them and they have all that extra skin.
Oh, it doesn't look good.
It looks crazy.
No, it doesn't look good.
And in my head, I'm like, what can I do? I would ask, it's kind of like when, have you ever had teeth extracted and then asked for the teeth?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I would ask for the skin. I'd be like, yo, can you take this? You can't own skin.
No, I'm thinking of...
You can't own skin, Lou. I think you could do that. No, you can't walk away with a bag of skin. That's not how that works, dude.
You asking for skin and being told no, and you being like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I thought this was America."
Wait a minute.
I can't own my own skin.
It's my skin. It's the same thing, dude. The amount of times I've heard, and I really don't know what they think you're going to do with it. The amount of times I've met people who are like, yeah, I had my tonsils out, and they wouldn't give me my tonsils. I'm like, yeah, I understand, like, I guess why you'd want them, but like if a doctor was like, no, I wouldn't argue with the doctor.
No.
I'd just be like, yeah, you're right. Throw those in the fucking garbage. They're gross.
No, but he keeps them.
What did
he keeps the tonsils.
Yeah, he puts them.
He puts them on ice.
If I was a doctor, everything I ever took out of a patient, I would have in my house.
You should be able to keep your own skin.
You should be able to keep anything they take out of you.
It's like that fucking J.G. Wentworth commercial where it's my skin and I need it now.
I had my ass cut off and I need skin it now. Call J.G. Wentworth.
877 skin now.
877 skin now.
877 skin now.
I was a fucking fat ass, but I lost my weight. Oh man. Yeah, I think if you had skin, because like they do that thing now where like, I often think about this too, because I want to meet someone who's done it. And I don't know anybody who has.
Wait, Ozempic?
Not Ozempic, where loved ones die and you can have their, like if they have tattoos, you can have the skin removed from their body and then have like their tattoos framed. Like you own human skin. I've never met anybody who's
done that. I mean, if you can take somebody's ashes, why the fuck wouldn't you be able to have their...
You know, you're actually not even legally allowed to own ashes. You know that?
What caused you to look this up? I want to know why do you know that? Why do you know that information?
So, when your father dies, Lou.
Yeah.
Yeah, is your dad dead, Lou?
No, but I'm just surprised you still wanted part of your dad around.
I needed someone to blame. I needed a bag of trash.
You at 3 o'clock in the morning just yelling at an urn. This is your fault.
Are you proud of me, Dad? Haven't I done enough? But apparently, you can't own. Like you can. It's like it's like a roadside memorial.
Right.
it's technically illegal.
Right.
But if someone saw you doing it, they'd never be like, hey,
You're
you
poor.
can't.
Oh.
Hey,
Yeah, you know, like-
you couldn't afford a funeral.
You're poor.
You had to put up pictures of your fucking daughter from a birthday on a telephone pole. Grow
yeah,
up.
it looked like it was a nice quinceanera, but
Oh,
let's wrap
man.
this up.
Yeah, how long you gonna
Dude,
keep
all right,
that
so you know how like fucking people like, it's like, yeah, you can like pay to fuck a dead body.
What are you talking about?
You know, it's like a fucking thing.
No, that's not a thing.
That is a thing. I mean, fucking, didn't they do that in like Kill Bill?
Okay, so she wasn't dead. She was in a coma.
Oh, so that makes it better.
I'm not saying it makes it better, but it makes it
But
a little
do we not
bit.
agree that somebody pays to fuck
You
dead
can
bodies?
pay to fuck anything.
You know the
If
right
you know
guy.
the right guy. I'm pretty sure if you're like, I want to fuck a dog. What's the weirdest part is between the two of us, I'm willing to bet 5 or less phone calls we can find a person who would get us
A dog to fuck?
without a doubt.
Oh, dude. You don't even have to make the phone calls. You walk around long enough, you'll find a dog.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
You walk around, dude, you'll find a
You
dog.
know what? Actually, I would do, and I wonder how many people would actually be mad at me. So I don't know if you've been following the news in Philadelphia. A couple of days ago, in West Philadelphia, a big problem they're dealing with right now is there are 2, I don't know if they get together, but there are 2 packs of wild dogs that have been roaming West Philadelphia right now.
Yeah, that tracks.
Within the last week, 2 of them, one pack of dogs attacked a person, like a mailman or something, which is
A little on the nose.
it's a boop. It's a little boop. But what really got everyone bummed was a pack of wild dogs cornered and mauled 2 cats to death on somebody's porch, like ripped them apart.
Right.
And everyone's like, "Oh, what are we gonna do? How are we gonna deal with these dogs?" What if you showed up in West Philadelphia, like, I'm gonna get these dogs, but really you just fucked the dogs?
I think we should go to like one of the like town meetings they have about the dogs, and then you and I just stand up
We're
like the Manchurian candidate.
We scratch on the like Quinn from
Like Jaws.
fucking Jaws. You want them?
Yeah.
I get to the tail, the ass, the whole thing. For what? I just went Wawa gift cards. I just want a $500 Wawa gift
It's just
card.
you and I being like, well, I don't see anybody else having any good ideas.
I think what we need to do, we're gonna have to fuck these
gonna-
dogs. If
Well, I don't think you have to fuck all of them. I think you would just have to fuck
have to
one of
fuck
the dogs
the leader dog
in front of the other dogs.
Dude, if we showed up with furry costumes, like, we're gonna get these dogs. I think we know.
The other
exactly
dog's like,
how
we're
to-
gonna maul some cats today, and the alpha's like, I'm just gonna go take a shower.
Actually,
I don't really want to.
Yeah, you see him sitting at a splash pad with his head down.
You know how like dogs will do like the sploot? It's just got a head in a
That
fountain.
dog is sad. Well,
That dog's going through.
look, these dogs are never going to give you guys trouble ever again. What, you rounded him up? You put him in a kennel? No, I fucked the leader. I fucked him into submission, and all the other dogs are going to leave town.
Oh my god.
I think that's what you'd have to do.
14 dogs going to the alleyway. 9 dogs come back.
I delivered the dick. The Hiroshima dick. It's like, man, we delivered that dick. The Hiroshima dick. It's just like, I don't think anybody would be that mad. If you saved an entire town from a pack of wild animals, they'd be like, yeah, this guy got the dogs to stop. How did he do it?
Don't ask questions.
We don't
you
really.
don't want the answers
We
to.
actually don't ever talk about that. We actually didn't really. We never really brought it up.
It's like that time in the 80s where the Philadelphia Police Department just like burned down
Dropped the bomb. The movement.
It's the same thing where it's like, how do we get rid of this dog problem? We don't talk about it.
Well, we did stop them. They're just dropping a bomb on dogs. Blowing up a pack of wild dogs would be. You know what?
I'll tell you what. If it was a pack of black labs, this would have been done 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, dude, it would have been definitely
done, dude.
You know what? I think honestly, to
that's
get
so
a pack of wild dogs, you paint a grenade like a tennis ball. You just
I think you can just throw the grenade.
No,
I don't think a dog is looking at a somewhat
Wait a
cylindrical
minute.
object and going like, I think that's a handheld
I don't know.
explosive device.
I would take great pride in making a hand grenade look like a tennis ball.
Yeah, because you have no hobbies, because you need something to do, because you're sad.
I saved the town from a pack of wild dogs. I throw a grenade and it blows them up. Everyone's got to deal with, dude. It's just like, I don't know.
And also, we get to spend the afternoon lobbing a few grenades.
I think it's collateral damage. You would tell, like, because the dogs, they're not going to know. Like, if you put out like a Facebook post and be like, hey, just want to let you guys know, everyone needs to stay in their house from this hour to this hour. I found where the dogs are. I'm going to take care of this problem. And then you find out you just blew up all the dogs. How mad could anyone possibly be? Like how, like even people are like, oh man, that's like animal cruelty. I was like, these dogs, no one's policing them. No one's doing anything about these fucking animals. Just kill.
And this leads me to my next point. Illegal immigration. What are we doing?
What are we doing? So I think one thing would be funny is if we set up a box with a stick and like something underneath the box.
Like a Modelo.
Just put one gold label Modelo in there.
Should do that. That would be so funny. We would go viral.
Oh,
if
man.
you and I wore like ice, like fake ice gear, and then we just were around a corner with a box and a stick and a Modelo.
Dude, you know what would be? Oh, dude, we would be called Smirnoff Ice.
Fuck.
Come on, dude. If we were alcoholic ice and we just put Modelo's under a box with a stick and a rope, come on. Dude. Smirnoff Ice would blow up on the internet.
Yeah, I think we should do it.
It can't be that hard to detain illegal immigrants. It can't be that hard. It can't be that hard.
I mean,
to get them? No.
No, I mean, did you see that thing that was like, I don't remember when it happened. I think it was like the late 90s or something, but I think it was in Florida because obviously they like were catching like fugitives by like calling them and telling them that they had
won something, yes.
Like Super Bowl tickets or something, and they would all just stand in line.
Dude, it's so easy. All you have to do is really, dude, what could you say to just get a bunch of illegals in one spot and tell them they won something?
I mean, I don't think we'd have to tell them they won something. I think we just have to tell them we have work for them.
It's kind of like, work is one thing, but like even the catch a predator thing, that was such a successful sting every time. We just need to like find a way to do that.
Dude, if Chris Hansen pivoted from...
Oh, and he became like a bounty hunter?
Yeah, like a fucking, like an ICE agent. And he's just like, he's like, hey, Geraldo, how you, what are you doing here? And the guy just doesn't know.
Yeah,
he can't
he's like,
speak.
"What?
He's like, oh, no,
Okay.
no say.
Like, says here you wanted to work on a roof. We have the transcripts here. It says speak perfect English.
Also, I want to be clear about this. I'm not pro ICE.
I don't think you're not pro ice.
I'm pro Smirnoff Ice.
Everyone's pro Smirnoff.
I'm pro.
I think to tell you the truth, I don't understand why Smirnoff Ice hasn't been like a counter to ice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
just party time ice. Like just having a like.
Have you drank a Smirnoff Ice?
Have I? Are you asking me if I've drank a Smirnoff Ice in my life?
Yeah.
I was there in the beginning of Smirnoff Ices. I was there when
Don't recite the magic to me. I was there when it was written.
I was born in the ice.
Molded by it.
You merely adopted the beverage cooler. I was there when it was made.
By the time you had the ice, it was already a White Claw.
Dude,
And I found it nothing but blinding.
By the time ice was over, you guys were drinking antioxidant rich seltzers.
You guys had
big
hard
fruits.
kombucha.
Dude, I think when Smirnoff Ice,
I'm not going to sit here and act like Smirnoff Ice was a cool thing.
it was never cool. But the fucking crazy thing about Smirnoff Ice was it exploded like Zima did. Like
Right.
Zima got super popular. And then when Zima was on the downswing, like it just went right back to beer and like wine coolers if you could get them. And then if you had a party in like the late 90s, early 2000s, You had to have Smirnoff. You had to have them.
that's all. That's
Because
all.
it's the only way you get chicks there.
That's all we
It's the
drank.
only way. If you had beer, chicks were never drinking it.
Yeah.
It's like, or the ones that were, you never had to worry about. But the chicks that like were like, oh, I don't know if I want to drink. I'm like, we've got
Smirnoff
Ice. It's pretty. We got your 6-pack. They would come out in droves.
Yeah.
For
It's either that or we got this mystery liquid in a water bottle I found in my parents'
Yeah, we
garage.
made jungle juice.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You made gasoline.
No.
There's no jungle juice.
No, we actually it was called N-word liquid. That's what we call it. It was not jungle juice. It was pretty fucking sick.
Oh my god, dude, that shit. You know what else kind of blows my mind, and I feel like it's only happened in the last few years, is how many like guys are like drinking twisted teas. It's very strange.
What do you mean?
Like they just like dudes that would call like theater kids fags are like
drinking twisted
are like,
tea.
dude, I'll put down like 12 twisted teas.
I also thought it was really
Like that's a dick. After 12 twisted teas, the 13th, that's a cock, my guy.
dude, every time someone would go to a bar and specifically ask for light beer, I'd be like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
I do. I drink Bud Light a lot.
Now, what is it about Bud Light that you will take over Bud Heavy?
The thing is that I like the physical act of drinking.
Sure.
So I'm able to drink more of them. And also, if I'm going out dancing, it doesn't sit. It doesn't sit in me like a Bud Heavy does. You know what I mean? Bud Heavy's for the troops. But if I'm trying to,
if I'm going out dancing.
yeah, dude, if I'm trying to cut some rugs, bro.
Yo, it's like these guys drinking twisted tea. They're super gay. I'm gonna take the Bud Light if I need
Listen,
to go.
hang on. Hang on. Back up. I didn't say that I was better than them. I just said that I just remarked upon the
Holy
paradox
shit.
of fucking roofer
yes.
from Delco being like, "Hey, who's got them teas, bro?"
Believe me, I don't understand. Why, people who act super tough, like they think they're like these super hard dudes, and then they're just like, yeah, give me the sweetest, easily drinkable thing in the world.
I don't understand it.
And don't get me wrong, as a person who's drank twisted tea, I will say if you're by yourself and you're like, or you're in a pool, sure, I'm pretty sure twisted tea is all right. But in my head, every time I've drank twisted tea, I've dumped more booze into the twisted tea.
It's just there's something so funny about a guy who drinks like 15 twisted teas and then goes and hits his wife. Like
That is a pretty
bro,
sad.
if you're gonna hit your wife, dude, it's got to be straight liquor. You can't no.
No, there's got to be a statistic of a dude who's like, I got through half a case of twisted teas. And then she started talking, and I could not deal with it.
Or it's just like some mom like sending her kids up to the room or be like, oh man, dad got into the picklebacks again. I don't know how this is going to turn out for us.
It is a very, that's one thing I've also, when my dad was, always drinking, he said one of the biggest downfalls that's ever happened is flavored vodka. He's like, the biggest downfall to drinking has been flavored vodka. And my dad would drink anything, but he's like, the worst part is like you just see dudes or people who now are drinking for pure, like just like, oh, I just like want some raspberry.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, drink something that tastes like fucking markers that are on fire.
Yeah, that's the whole.
Shut the fuck up.
That's the whole fucking point.
It is the point. That's the point of drink.
You're not supposed to have fun.
No, you're not supposed to.
It's not supposed to be an enjoyable experience.
The whole thing with drinking is that it's supposed to be borderline medicinal.
Right.
Like when it becomes smooth, we're going too many. We're making it easy for everybody. It's kind of like that scene from A League of Their Own when Tom Hanks says that like if it was easy, everybody'd do it. The hard is what makes it great.
Oh.
The hard drinking is what makes it great.
I just imagined a really sad guy at the bar. Like his wife has left him. He just got fired from his job and he starts to tear up and Tom Hanks comes out and he goes, there's no crying and drinking. There's no crying at the bar.
You're not allowed to cry at the bar. I've had many jobs. When I was barbacking, one of the things that was actually written down on paper, if you got caught crying at work, you were fired.
Good.
I was like, this is the best.
Good.
Fucking
push that shit down.
I don't know why. I've only seen one guy cry at a job, and that was because he cut his finger off with a saw.
and he was fired.
And even then, I was like, "You are gay." Dude. It's like, "You are gay."
Wrap a bar rag around it.
No,
and
dude.
change the taps, my guy.
It is fucking nuts. I don't think I could ever. I mean, I would scream if I got my finger cut off, but then I'd try to be like, "I'm fine.
Yeah,
I'm totally fine.
Exactly,
I'm totally fine."
But it's also we've all worked with like that one girl that like every shift at the bar or
they cry.
restaurant, she has to like cry in the walk-in.
Oh, the screaming in the walk-in?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I think that girl and whoever the guy is in the air-conditioned room that like pilots drones that bomb weddings, they have to flip jobs for like a day. Instead of wife swap, we should do job swap.
Job swap.
Where
would be
like someone who cries in a restaurant, which is really the lowest stakes job
Sure.
you could possibly get,
without a doubt,
now has to
has to
has to like sit in that room with like the joystick.
You know, they have to do recovery in Gaza. That's what they have to do. They have to fish people out of a dilapidated building and tell me if you need to go scream in a walk-in.
Yeah,
afterwards.
I think you're fucking fine, lady.
Nah,
I think I think table 38 is going to get their jalapeno poppers at some point. It's not a big deal.
I've never understood. Don't get me wrong. I've worked in high volume places where, you know, it can get hectic.
It's stressful.
It is. But at the end of the day, it's like, who gives a shit what these people fucking think at all? Like, unless someone is even deliberately mean to you, I'd just be like, whatever.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Who gives a fuck what you think?
Imagine talking to the guys who dropped the bomb on Nagasaki and being like, we ran out of spoons in a side station and I just couldn't handle it. Like, what are you doing?
You know what's crazy? The same guy who's waking up seeing a child on fire is the same lady who wakes up. She's like, I heard the printer on the service bar. It's haunting my brain. I can't do it. It's like, no. Until you've heard screams of death. I've never, you know what? I've never had a work dream. I've never had a work nightmare.
I've had a few, and nothing will make you feel like more of a pussy,
dude,
than having a nightmare that you forgot ketchup.
At no point in time in my life have I ever had a dream where I was at work and things just weren't working out the way I needed to get my job done.
Right.
Never. I've had dreams where I'm at work and then something cool happens, like a huge iguana crashes through the wall and eats people, or something blows up and I don't have to worry about my job anymore. I've never been like, oh no, I'm not going to be able to buzz this table. And then another table needed to be buzzed. And then my manager starts yelling at me and I had to go cry. Yeah. No, fuck you, dude.
Dude, I swear to God, some restaurant people act like they are like vets that have like PTSD.
Dude.
Like, and it's just so...
Here, you know, the crazy thing is, I'm not saying that, you know, I'm not here to compare problems. I think that's the other thing, too. Don't get me twisted. As much as I'm shitting on these people, maybe that's how they're built. Maybe that's just the level. And I know the face you're making. The way it is some of these people are made soft.
Yeah, I guess.
And their life... when they get into the bar and service industry, and they're like, "Oh man, this is crazy."
Yeah,
it's like that. Maybe that's just the biggest level of crazy you could ever
actually handle. Yeah, I guess
ever do in your life.
I just think it'd be funny if they had like the same symptoms of like World War II vets, like POW survivors, where it's just like some hostess is like, "I have to sleep on the floor because the bed is too soft. I can't handle it."
Every night they're taking bar mats out just to do it. It's like, I had to.
I have to do it.
I can't get out of this fucking routine.
Oh my God.
I can't go back to the world and just act normal. Where's my parade?
I know.
It's so fucking stupid. But then, you know what's crazy is that I would explain things I had to do at a bar and they'd be like, I would never do that. It's like, yeah, but somebody had, like, it didn't keep me up at night fishing a dead possum out of a porta potty.
I mean, also, to be fair,
it's disgusting.
To be fair, you were blackout drunk pretty much the whole time.
A lot of the time. I was drunk at every job I've ever had. And that's the thing too, is somebody messaged me the other day and they were like, yo, what's the worst part about sobriety? I was like, there are so many things that are terrible about it. And like the good, I'm pretty sure does outweigh the bad. But like when you start nitpicking about everything, you think about like just going to a job and you're like, man, everybody is so fucking I don't know how anybody does a job sober. I really don't.
Yeah,
I really don't. And not just working in a bar. I'm talking any fucking job. I couldn't imagine.
Dude, I was
doing
actually
any job.
thinking about this the other day where I was like, I don't know, I was reading something about World War II. And it came across this paragraph where it was just like, yeah, a lot of the soldiers were drunk the whole time. And I don't know why I never put that together in my head, but I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
Why
dude.
wouldn't you be?
Get rounded?
Could you imagine being hammered
Yeah, dude.
at like the Battle of the Bulge?
It would be sick.
Just hanging out with your boys?
Just like laughing.
Just laughing?
It's like, this is not. I guess it
Someone puts a Thompson machine gun in their mouth and there's like, oh.
It probably, yeah. That's why a lot of people died during D-Day. If you see them get off the boat, they're falling over.
Dude, I
the
know
place.
this.
They don't know where they're at. Omaha Beach was just like kind of like sandals, dude. It was not great.
When the ramp drops, you think everyone's getting shot? It's
No,
like, no, they're just hammered.
They're actually leaning on it.
They're just,
Damn it!
oh, fuck.
Oh fuck! I didn't think about that.
When we get to the beach.
Yeah, there was probably one guy waking up like, "This was today."
Oh, fuck.
No fucking way. Oh no, no, dude, no.
Dude, could you imagine? Bro, you and me just absolutely hammered drunk, hiding behind like one of those metal tank traps, just
What,
like,
the Jacks thing?
just like, bro, this is fucking wild.
I'm pretty sure if you get drunk on the battle, that's like, that's probably the best scenario you could be in.
Yeah.
Is being like, yo, I'm gonna take him. You need the one dude who's like, I got this, dude. I'll fucking do it. I know exactly what I'm fucking doing.
That's exactly right.
And he runs up, and I mean, yeah, sure, he probably gets cut in half by just a huge machine gun, but you're like, well, at least they're shooting him now.
Right.
And then you need the dudes to be fucking.
There's always that one guy at the bar who gets drunk enough to like actually go approach the group of women.
Yeah.
And he's like the point guy, you know what I mean? And then everyone else kind of like swarms in.
Yeah, you need the confidence of the guy who's like, you know what, I'm gonna go and talk. These Nazis can't be that bad.
Yeah, fuck that.
They're right on that bad, dudes. Hey, what are you guys doing over there?
You see their boots? I think they're gay, dude.
Here's what I'm telling you. What are you guys drinking? Smirnoff, your fucking faggots. Just calling Nazis gay. Gay from the beach. You're gay. What are you shooting?
It's like when you're when you're stranded on an island, you write help. There's like a group of dudes on Omaha Beach. They just write the word gay.
They're stacking the legs blown off of their friends. The Nazi's like, das ist gay?
This is guy.
Oh, fuck. Well, we were going to shoot them, but they called us gay. So we had to leave.
They got us.
They really burned
They
us.
got us. They really burned us.
They really burned
The
us.
bunker is like actually on
Yeah,
fire.
it's
Like,
They got us. Cool.
this is pretty bad.
Yeah, I think the insult is pretty sick. I think it's kind of like, what was that scene in Braveheart where they were mooning everybody?
Yeah.
It's like, dude,
You already lost.
You are gonna lose. Might as well fucking just go out having a good time.
Damn.
It's very easy to do. What's been new with you, man? Name 3 things. Anyway, actually, I was sorry. This is the End Podcast with Ryan Shaner.
We're back, dude.
I'm here with.
We got our summer fits on, dude. I'm being a little summer bitch today, dude. I can't wait.
Yeah, as soon as I saw you.
I know, dude. I can't wait.
I know.
I feel powerful right now.
Do you really?
Not with these arms, but like
No.
in my soul, I feel powerful.
Lou Misiano is here.
Hi, guys.
The lovable Lou. You got anything to plug for everybody listening?
Oh shit. When does this come out?
Wednesday, tomorrow.
Tomorrow's Tuesday.
Tomorrow's Tuesday. So it comes out Wednesday.
Yeah, I guess roast battle.
I don't know what fucking day it is, dude. Wednesday, tomorrow, it's Monday. You're right.
Also, it's the level of confidence.
You got to be confident, dude.
That's the thing about not knowing what day it is. You're always very confident that you don't know what day it is.
It's like, yeah,
no
dude.
one's like, is it Wednesday? It's always like, it's Wednesday.
It's
like,
Wednesday,
I assure
idiot.
you it is not.
You fucking retard. Nope. It's not. It's Monday. Monday.
Oh my
this comes
God.
out on Wednesday. So is there
Yeah,
anything
Friday, April 25th, at Soul Joel's in Pottstown. We got roast battle.
for- Ooh, that's going to be a good one.
Yeah, if you want to come judge, you're more than welcome to.
When is it?
Friday, April 25th.
25th. I think I have a show that day. And then the next day, I will be at the Philomoka doing Awful Wrestling.
Oh,
fuck. You should come.
It looks like so much goddamn
come.
fun.
It's going to be, this is the craziest thing that so apparently we sold out the Saturday show. So on Sunday, they want us to do a matinee during the day on Sunday.
On the 27th?
On the 27th.
Dude, I have a good friend of mine visiting me on the 27th.
Yeah, come.
I would love to.
Here's what the funny thing is. So the guy who runs it, he's like, yeah, we're going to try and do like, a Sunday matinee show. Would you be interested in doing that? I'm like, I don't know. He's like, I think it would be financially a better move. And I was like, all right, I'm down to do that.
Wait, but why?
Because we'll make more money. If we
sold on a Saturday?
No, we sold out Saturday. Now we have an extra day.
All right, I understand now.
So like it was going to be like, oh, we close up shop on Saturday and that's done, or we can stay an extra day and try and get more people in. But he was like, yeah, we can try and make it like more of a family friendly show. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to want to do that.
Yeah, no, that sucks.
I don't want to do that. So now it's like, I was talking with Dan Ostrov because he's who I'm going to wrestle on Sunday. And I'm like, what do you want to do? He's like, oh, we should do the severed dog head match. I'm like, well, how are we going to make that family? Like, I don't understand how that can be.
I don't want it to be family friendly.
I don't want it to be.
In fact, I don't think anybody that goes wants it to be family friendly.
So that's the whole thing. He's trying to attract a whole different demographic. And I don't understand why. I don't really get it. There's nothing about wrestling.
No.
Should be family friendly.
That's like going to a strip club and being like, you know what we should do?
Yeah.
We should do a matinee.
They do have strip club matinees.
I know, but like a not sad one.
Oh, so
like a family friendly one.
Family friendly
like a family friendly strip
where
club.
they're just reading. They're just
no. It's not. It's not a drag show. It's not a drag show.
It's not a drag show. Dude,
No, but it is. The strippers just come out and they just read.
They just read books. They show everyone that they're normal people.
So they can't.
Or it's a stripper talent show, but all of it's like really, really good stuff. It's like, yeah, I can put this Rubik's Cube together in under 30 seconds.
A matinee stripper talent show is just a regular burlesque show.
Dude. You know what I've never understood is like, the amount of burlesque shows I've done.
So have I.
It's crazy. Have at any point in time during the burlesque performance, did you get turned on at all? And be honest.
No.
That's exactly right.
No, I have not. Which is odd.
It's not odd. It's not odd because it's not for you.
My favorite thing is like watching, because normally the people that go to burlesque shows are people that are into burlesque shows, right?
Sure.
So what I love though is like, it's sort of like when you do a one-nighter at a bar doing stand-up and the people that are at the bar don't realize that stand-up is happening. Sure. So now they just kind of have to like be there and experience it for better or worse.
Yeah, that's terrible.
It's that, but tenfold for a burlesque show. Like imagine being like a roofer, right?
Yeah.
Union job. All he wants to do is come to the bar, fucking drink a twisted tea, get home, hit his wife. And watch ESPN highlights. Now imagine that they turn the TVs off and you turn around and it's a lady dressed like a third base umpire or built like a third base umpire with pasties on, and she's going to walk across glass. And you have to sit there like,
I didn't know this was what I get into. It's like, I'm not knocking the performance of burlesque, but I will say is like when people are like, oh, it's so sexy. I'm like, I don't know if it is. No point in time have I watched a burlesque show and been like, I'm aroused. If anything, I'm just like, I'd rather.
Listen, I agree with this statement, but that being said, the amount of burlesque women that I have slept with would change that narrative a little bit.
Lou.
I know.
Same.
I know.
What I'm saying is I've been to burlesque shows where I'm just like, I'm fucking her. Like I tell people like the only reason I'm here.
Every burlesque chick I've ever slept with has started with me and my brain going, fine.
Yeah. It's kind of like, all right, I didn't think this was, or the worst is like, they'll ask you how their performance was. And there's sometimes where it's like, I don't know. Dude, there's nothing worse than having no notes. There's nothing worse where you're just like,
me watching a burlesque show would be like me going to like the Modern Museum of Art, where I would just be sitting there like,
yeah,
I guess.
Yeah, no, that's art. That's 100% a painting. No bones about it. That's a sculpture. You did.
You did it.
You did it.
You did it.
I liked when you came out. Dude, it is impossible. And it's like what's so crazy is that like some of these gals they take it so seriously, which I can understand if that's what you want to do, if that's your
No
life.
judgments.
But burlesque shows are not for straight
anybody.
dudes. They're not for any. No, they're for
Gay clowns.
yes. It's gay clowns.
Yes.
And that's another thing that I said too. It's funny you brought up drag shows too. I watched a dude get out of working a drag brunch, which is, if anybody's ever had to go through that shit, the people who love drag brunch you're nuts.
Yeah.
You're a nuts person. Brunch is already terrible. Working a brunch is already bad. Working a brunch with people screaming all the time is infuriating. I don't know how anybody wants to do it. But
Dude, that's like someone went to like brunch and was like, you know what this needs?
Yeah.
Loud, aggressive women.
perfect.
More loud, aggressive women.
Just make it terrible.
Oh, geez.
But a guy got out of working a drag brunch because he said he had chlorophobia. Do you know what chlorophobia is?
I don't know. He's scared of chloroform. That was going to be my first guess.
It's the phobia is of clowns. He's afraid of clowns. One thing that if you want to watch a drag enthusiast or a drag performer get super pissed off, is refer to them as clowns. They get real mad. And then his argument, and I overheard the argument. I was like, I've never heard a checkmate more. He goes, she's like, they're not clowns. He's like, what are you talking about? They're not clowns. He's like, okay.
Oh no. Yep.
Dude,
exactly.
and he had the points. He's like, let me get this straight. It's adult performers putting on outrageous costumes, wearing face and image altering makeup to the point where they don't even look like themselves, and they're doing it for the entertainment of a crowd. And she was like, yeah. He's like, that is a clown.
Yeah. And also, I saw you all.
That is a clown.
Yeah. And you guys all got out of the same car.
You all got out of that Subaru Outback. You all got out of it.
20 of them.
All right, we got phone calls. Jesus Christ. But yeah, dude, hearing him say it and watching her be like, fuck. Like he just explained what drag queens were. And it is very true.
Left, right. Okay.
All right, here we go.
This is my favorite part of the show. All right.
Here we go.
Man, I really hope Danny listens to all these because I just fucked up the last time I tried doing this. What's up, Shaner? All hail Shockwave.
Sweet. The
Like,
brutal.
bro, I've been a fan of yours since Debbie Does Nog.
Man.
And I just want you to know, man, I'm not trying to make a big deal out of it, but whenever I have a bad day, it's a little bit easier hearing you and your friends talking about the same dumb shit I think about all the time. I love you, bro. Shout out.
Yeah, dude. Thank you.
I thought the end was just going to be like, shut the fuck up, Karen.
Honestly, I love
Wait, do you think this is the guy?
No, I do not think it's him.
Wait,
I don't think it's him.
Who's the guy?
So there was another guy a while ago. It was the best message we ever had. A dude, he was confused about leaving the message, I think. And which I don't understand. It says like, you've reached Ryan Shaner, leave a message after the beep. Pretty standard. So I guess that happens. And he's like, that happened so fast. I didn't, I didn't know what, I messed it up. I messed it up. This is no good. This is no good. And then you hear a woman in the background going, it's no good. And then he just lets out a deep breath and hangs up.
It sounds like he couldn't get hard.
And it was just like such
This is no good. And then, and then a
good.
woman in the background going,
No
no,
good.
it's not good.
It's okay. We're going to get through it together.
1 out of 3 men fuck up leaving messages for Ryan Shaner on the End podcast.
You know what? You can call back next week. Call back when you're in a better mood. You got a lot on your mind.
Honestly, the advice I would give to that guy is, take a Viagra. Because you can't not be confident.
Just walk around
when you've got a raging heart
all
on, dude.
the time.
Where he's got to get a prescription, and he's like, "Are you having trouble in bed?" No, I am having trouble calling into my favorite podcast.
I was gonna call this retard in Pennsylvania and leave a message.
So I need to be bricked up for that.
I need to be fucking rigid as hell because it's the only way I can do this. Yeah, dude. Thanks for calling in. I appreciate you being there from the beginning of nonsense to what it is now. Yeah, I do. I'm glad. I don't know if I'm concerned that you think about the same shit that people I know think about on a daily basis. That should be a red flag in your life. But I will say I'm glad this gives you an outlet to, for us to confirm your beliefs in.
Also, if this helps you not bringing it out to
If this is a
this is a safe space for retards.
If this is a punching bag for you, dude, fucking go off. If this is you're like, dude, I've been thinking about stupid shit all day. I need to know if somebody else has been thinking.
You can't go into the office with these thoughts. This is a good outlet.
This is pretty good. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for calling.
This is like an insane level of like power that you have.
What are you talking about?
Nothing. It's just like the inspiration that you are like the Martin Luther King Jr. of retards, dude. Where it's like people like believe in you.
Dude, I'm gonna start the Million Man Tarch. The Tart March. We're going, dude. And I hope I get assassinated. That would be sick. All right, next.
I was going to say, actually, if it was fucking, instead of Martin Luther King, you're Malcolm X, and you just get assassinated by another retarded guy.
That's exactly what. Dude, he's being too retarded.
Get your hand out of my pocket.
It's like I'm speaking the truth about retardation. They're like, you're not orthodox retarded. You're not retarded enough.
Dude, I love the idea that the FBI has case files on you.
I'd be so sick.
How retarded you are.
I would love it, dude. If that would be the best thing ever if I ever got like busted for a serious crime. And then they just start playing episodes of podcasts I've been on. And I'm like, how could anybody like I think every episode of a podcast would absolve me from every crime. They'd be like, yeah, he's just too retarded. I'd be like, yeah. How could I ever pull any of this stuff off?
Yeah.
Like, what was the last thing you talked about? You said you were going to blow dogs up with a tennis ball bomb and then fuck them to death with a friend. I'm like, yeah, you thought that was a real thing?
Yeah, I don't think this guy did insider trading. Yeah, I think he's fine.
I think he might just be too stupid. Like, we can't arrest this dude.
Oh, my God.
All right, next message.
Yo, this message is for Danny Dubs. Episode 96 on the Patreon. Yo, you're totally right. Brian, sorry. You're totally wrong. Parental control, your explanation was wrong. Danny, they did have a choice on the show next. Take the money or the date. And it's kind of fucked up that everybody was like, yo, Danny, you're wrong. And then, like I said, I'm sorry, Shaner, but then you completely fucked up parental control. It was kind of funny. I love you guys, and I love Danny Dubs, and I love fucking Shaner. So, love you guys. Bye.
It literally, every message you get sounds like someone using the phone for the first time.
Dude, they're just excited dudes, dude.
Also, thank you. Next is the greatest TV show of all time. I want to forget that detail.
I'm not going to say that Next isn't good. I totally forgot that there was a money element.
Yeah, there's a countdown because like some didn't even make it to 0, 1. Like they're like the timer starts now.
Wait, could someone
you don't know what Next is?
No.
So MTV in the early 2000s.
Oh, the dating show.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yes. So I was under the impression that like the person that got off the bus and like, yo, I'm the best student, like the cocky faggots,
right?
And
no, that was the best part.
I mean,
I'm Kyle. I'm from Michigan, and I like to fuck. And then he steps off the bus and next. So what I was under the impression was that you'd go on the date. So wait, the person who it's a 3-part date. The bus follows all 3 parts.
Okay.
and you can just get next at any time. And then at the end, the person that wins the date has a choice of going on the date or getting money for the amount of time they spent. So like if she next 4 people right off the bat and he has like a 40-minute date, he has a shot at like $4,000.
So wait a minute.
Wait, and they all get off a bus?
This is where I'm confused. Because I thought next was there's dudes on the bus, they get off, they can get nexted. But what I was under the impression was that they get off the bus, the first part of the date goes well, and at any time the person can next them, and then another dude. Yeah, but like,
there's like a timer going the whole time.
I
and
thought
you get like $100 per minute.
I guess I was getting it confused with Eliminate. I guess that's what I was getting it confused with, because in Eliminate, it's one chick and then there are 3 guys there the whole time, where then they can like get like
they swap in.
They can swap in, or they can get special alone time with the chick. It's fucking. I guess that's what I was getting my shit.
No, much superior version next was.
I don't know.
Also, do you know the level of unchecked confidence you need to have to take a step off of a bus and think you're going to get laid?
I mean,
that's wild.
It's the early 2000s.
I've never taken the metro to West Philly and then got off at the bus stop and been like, I'll probably get some pussy today, dude.
And I'm about to give you the goo.
That's a level of confidence I've never seen before.
I mean,
the best was when the girls would get eliminated before taking the step off the bus.
Well, now they have
full breakdown,
dude. It is wild. But now they have that show. I don't even think it's a show. It's just like becoming. Oh no, they're going to do it on Netflix. It's the thing where they pop the balloon.
Oh yeah,
where
I've seen the clips.
Dudes will walk up and then women will pop it, or like a chick will walk up and dudes will pop. Dude, one of the funniest things was when this chick comes up, like there's like a line full of dudes, and she looks great, and then immediately is like, "Hi, my name's Tiffany," and they're like, pop, 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 like dude, right down the line.
Bro, that balloon shit is actually fucking genius.
It is wild.
So goddamn funny.
It was so nuts. And they're like, "Why'd you pop?" Then they have to ask the dudes why they popped the balloon. And they're just like lying, like, "Yeah, I don't know." I don't know. I was just not thinking, like maybe it's good. It's not that bad. Like, no, why'd you pop it? Why'd you pop it? And then that dude who came out of nowhere and popped the balloon of the trans lady that was standing in line. He popped her balloon for her. And then all the other chicks were like, "No, you can't do that." And he's like, "Yeah, I just didn't want, I mean, it's a wild thing to be, put your beliefs right out there like that. You could also not date that person.
That's wild.
You also could not, you don't have to choose that person. Even if they're like, "Yeah, I want to date." You could be like, "No,
dude,
I'd rather not."
I'm going to start bringing balloons with me on dates. And then the minute it starts to go bad, you just slowly start to blow up a balloon.
Just making eye contact. Just saying, I might pop this fucking balloon.
You just sit there.
It is that is a pretty good, that is hardball. That is a sick thing to do.
Yeah.
I just the balloon popping thing, it's kind of nuts in the way that we moved on. We went from that show where they're just naked in front of one another. And you never seen that?
To Catch a Predator?
You see a predator blowing up a balloon. It's like,
actually, wait, you got a predator to walk in and there's just a bunch of kids with balloons.
What? Dude, how... Dude, next Predator?
Bro.
Next Predator would be pretty good. They get off the bus like, "These fingers are going to do magic." And the kid's like, "Next." What? You don't know what you're missing. I think, just kids
to go up to like a 6-year-old kid.
Yeah. You were on the show and you just saw that you were so undesirable.
I don't know. He said that he would be into dinosaurs, and he doesn't look like he'd be into dinosaurs.
He doesn't even know
which is why I popped my balloon.
He said he didn't know who Blippy was. I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
Out of the classic MTV dating shows, what one do you think you'd be best at? Like Room Raiders, Date My Mom, or Next?
Date my mom.
Date My Mom.
Dude,
I think
Date My Mom.
I'm even going back. I think Singled Out would be
Well,
the easiest one to
Wait,
do.
which one was Singled
yeah,
Out?
Singled Out.
Singled
that was
Out.
all whores.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but
think
aren't
I-
they-
supposed
I
to.
think I'd be pretty good.
Wait, Danny, which MTV dating show was not the whores?
Yeah, which one
mean,
was
obviously.
which one was there no
Well,
horrors
Jenny
on?
McCarthy's fucking hosting it.
Come on. You just
Everyone's all riled up. Just seeing her.
everyone's horned up to
Yeah.
the max.
Wait, what
Yeah.
what was Singled Out?
Singled Out was the first dating show they had.
What was that one?
Basically, Jenny McCarthy, and I can't remember who the co-host was. So it was like the dating game for the most part. Only
Right.
there was like different rounds in the dating game, and people could change in and out. And they had a male and a female. Like it just seemed like and like some of it was like trivia based, which was also like it was a pretty good show. It was just. I think that's way more.
For some reason, there was a show where like exes would go on and then sing karaoke about them.
What
Was that? I'm having a weird
How
memory.
much cocaine
I think you
were
just made
Viacom
this up.
executives doing? Yeah,
I'm
dude, that's-
telling you, there was like a breakup karaoke.
dude, this sounds like your dream. This sounds like you're describing a dream.
breakup karaoke?
Because I remember someone doing 311 mixed up and dying.
And so
No, I was dying.
Oh,
Like,
so
what a
wait.
bizarre-
The whole point of the karaoke was to win your ex back with karaoke,
Or was it just like a fuck you to your face?
No, yeah, it was like you finally got to. I believe it was you got to tell your ex off.
Through the majesty of song.
311.
Well, it ended with the majesty of song. First, you would do like some sort of like court thing, like where you explain to the host of like, no, she's a bitch because blah blah blah.
Dude, I do not remember that at all. What the fuck are you talking about, dude?
I hope I'm not making this
I
up.
think
It
you're
sounds like you're making it up, dude.
I'm gonna look into this.
I think you're just mixing up People's Court with fucking
I
something.
could be.
Oh, dude, it's gonna be great. When that,
The Masked Singer. You're like, no, how crazy would this be?
it's gonna be great when that guy calls back and he's like, Shaner, I love you, but Danny Dubs is right.
yeah.
You're right.
Danny
Please,
Dubs is
dude.
right.
No, I don't need that. I don't
Bail
need
me
that.
out here.
No, I think the Date My Mom was
I can't do Date My Mom.
why? Why? Come on.
Neck
man.
tattoos. You're never winning, dude.
Come on, man.
Nah, no mom's ever approved of a dude with neck tattoos.
No, see, that's where you. Sir, first off, maybe a lot of people haven't seen. Danny got his hair cut, and he looks
Fucking
very
phenomenal.
great. If you put on like a nice collared shirt, if you put on the Bird Dogs stuff,
The bird dogs.
I'm telling you, they'd just be like, oh, and you're like, yeah, I actually help.
No, but also,
Grandmoms love me.
Yeah, of course
It's the
they-
mom.
No, I'm telling you, you could charm a mom.
but also moms are stuck, getting fucked by their actuary husband badly, like for
Yeah.
decades. And now suddenly you come on around and you're like something that's totally different.
True. Maybe a real whore mom.
I don't even think it would be a whore mom. All you got to do is be nice enough, sound smart enough, which I'm sure you could do.
Call them 26 at some point.
Yeah, make a joke about how you can't believe how like there's no way you're her mom.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Yeah. Call them her sister.
Yeah, I thought this was Date My Sister.
What is this? Date my sister?
What is this? Oh man,
Brother, there's not enough caution wet floor signs in the state.
you put your hands on the table and like, look, if things don't work out with your daughter, I'm just saying, like, I feel. Did you feel this? Right?
Honestly, I think I'd do best at Room Raiders.
So you don't think so?
Wait, which one was Room Raiders?
So that was when
They go like,
it's also fucking wild as
yeah,
shit.
you're like kidnapped out of your room, and some girl goes to inspect 3 different rooms,
And then chooses
who she dates solely based off
based
of the
on
room.
the room.
That's kind of brilliant, actually.
It was, dude. It was a wild time.
I
for
think I
those
could make
shows.
myself look pretty interesting, like have my like Muay Thai gear out, fucking like some artist
All right, Danny,
pencils.
now that you've got your haircut, we need to teach you how to get laid. He was like,
I think I could.
I'll have my Gundam collection on the table.
That's my wife.
I'll have my models on the table.
My wife does Gundam stuff.
Sorry, but
My motorcycle helmet, my college degree.
Dude, I wouldn't believe any of this shit. I'm like, this is the most up his own ass person I've ever.
Danny, I want to be very clear about this. You better thank God every day that you're married.
Yeah, dude, I don't
there
think
is no way.
Yeah, I went into
I
this
have a
room.
college degree and a motorcycle, dude.
He had shin pads.
Yeah, he's got shin pads, a degree, and a helmet.
Bitches don't like this. I have a fishing rod.
And he's an angler. This is good. Yeah, dude, I think that just
It has to be better than your room. Your room's so spooky.
first off,
Actually, yeah, his room would be like a fucking demonic painting, a shotgun, and a fucking
Yeah.
first off, I think my room be is your. Do you make your bed every day, Danny? No, you don't.
No, I don't.
No, you don't. So someone's going to come into an unkempt room, clothes everywhere on the floor, Muay Thai pads just strewn about, a random fishing pole that's there for some reason, a motorcycle helmet just kind of maybe on the bedpost.
You gotta
and then
look interested.
One framed degree. I don't know. I don't
good
know.
Just gotta walk in there and be like, "Is this Room Raiders
Yeah.
or Storage Wars?
yeah, what
Which-
is
did I
this?"
just walk into a fucking?"
What are you talking? I think it's crazy. At the end, you said fishing pole like that was good. Yo, if I'm gonna get this bitch slick, dude.
Like every on his wife's birthday, she's like, "Danny, can you break out the fishing pole? It is my birthday."
I don't know. I think
that's good stuff.
Look,
dude.
I appreciate that you think that's good stuff, and I appreciate that in the van while watching a woman go through your room, like that's perfect. Just saying how dumb she is for not picking.
Wait, but what's she finding in your room?
What's she finding? Let's see. Wait, are we talking now or are we talking back when?
No,
this was?
I'm saying you got to set up your room for this.
Oh, I have to set up my room for it.
on.
Oh, I just put out a bunch of books.
Magnum condoms.
I put out a bunch of books I don't read on my dresser. I make my bed. I try to make my room look as clean as possible.
Well,
Wait, hang
yeah,
on
of
now.
course you would try, but you're setting up the room and you're being kidnapped at any moment.
Are these
dude.
the type of women that would actually be impressed if you had books in your room?
I don't know, dude. I don't see the woman. I don't see who
Yeah,
it
No,
is.
but I'm just saying the type of girl that would do this.
that would sign up for an MTV dating show?
Yeah.
I don't know. Would they be impressed by it?
I'm telling you, motorcycle
Now, here's
helmet's
what I'm
going to
saying.
get her, dude.
His
They'd be like,
fishing
The motorcycle helmet's going to get her.
I feel like the type of woman would do this. They would see your books and be like, he was nice, but like he's got a bunch of magazines made of paper.
they're the leather-bound Curious George.
Yeah.
Completely all these. It's like
It's every Clifford the Big Red Dog.
It's like it's pretty amazing. How many Gary Larson Far Side galleries could you possibly
I have that book.
Yeah, dude, you have to have all of them. Volume 9, the best one.
They're
It's
so
like,
good.
come on, dude. They'd be like, what the fuck? Yeah, I would I'd try to make my room look like I don't know. I'd try to make it look like a safe place, but not a safe place where like you can express yourself, like a safe place where like if something were to happen, you'd be safe in that room. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about?
What? So you're just gonna have like
well, you can lock it from the outside, dude.
Like what I'm saying is
he's like I would get a bunch. He's like I'd get a bunch of canned food, a water,
there'd be a bunch of MREs
and an AM radio.
and there's just
road
one
flares.
one hand grenade in the middle of the bed. It's like, check that out. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think. It'd probably be what was my room like when I was single? Pretty much.
Oh, probably a nightmare.
No, there was nothing really in it. Everything was in my.
That's
in my
the
house.
worst thing.
That's
you
actually
know?
worse.
Yeah, I know. But that's the whole thing is if we had house raider, all these kids were
Christ.
still living with their parents when this happened. So like if we had someone to come into
Oh
my
my
house.
god, the high school room.
Yeah, dude.
Fuck.
That's what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
I'm completely fucked.
You're totally fucked.
Dude, now
I
that-
am also fucked.
Now that I'm thinking about rooms, like, do you ever look back on like your early 20s and think like, how did anybody fuck me?
In my early 20s? No, I never. I kind of, again, the way my house
the
was
only
set up,
thing I had hung up was a signed Billy Idol poster.
that's pretty hot.
That's actually not
pretty
bad.
ru-
That's
pretty hot.
pretty fucking cool.
I stand by it.
That's pretty
That's
hot.
pretty cool.
That's better than a fishing pole, I'll tell you that. But I think the way my house was, it was like, it was set up, it was organized chaos. So like it was clean, but there was shit everywhere. It was like a fucking TGI Fridays
that like, you know, the Manson family put together. It was not, it was, you know, it was not, there was just crazy crap all over the walls, but there was like, it wasn't on the floor and there was like places to walk. Everything was relatively clean. I thought it was, believe me, there would be women I would take back to my house and be like, I can't believe you're still here.
Yeah.
This is crazy. And then I would lock the door. I'm like, I can't believe you're never going to leave.
It's like that scene in A Bronx Tale where you're like, I asked you to
Now
leave,
yous can't
and now
leave.
you can't leave.
And right there, they knew they had nothing.
I'll never forget the look on their faces. They had a reputation for sleeping around with guys, but they knew in that moment they had made a fatal mistake. And Danny just comes out with a baseball bat.
No, he comes out with a fishing pole, dude. It's like- they're like, what's that? That would be so hot.
Oh my God.
I think it's like,
Fuck up their car.
the crazy thing is when like I had roommates, there would be times where they would bring chicks over and, you know, like the
And
living
you would ruin it by the living
well,
room?
the living room would be crazy and they would just be like, what is going on here? However, it didn't help that their rooms were like a disaster area. Like there, I mean, like shit everywhere.
Bringing home a lady knowing that you're the roommate is the scariest. I would just imagine every night if I brought a chick home, Shannon would be in his underwear on the couch.
No.
Like that scene in Full Metal Jacket where the guy's just like
Gomer Pyle just sitting. Hey, Joker. Just about to shoot myself in the
this
mouth.
is my Nintendo.
No.
There are many like it, but this one
think-
is mine.
I actually picture Shaner freaking out and like smashing like a baby doll because he was trying to make some sort of artwork.
Oh no!
with it.
Yeah,
there
yeah,
have
And
been
just like
times.
cursing,
There have been times
punching
where
a mannequin.
I've been doing like, you know, I've been working on a project and like they'd show up and like, oh, what are you doing? And like really what it is, I think is like if you go into somebody's house and they have crazy shit on the walls, you're like, where did you get this shit? But if it's like you making it and taking time, you're like, hi, how you doing? They're off put, but they're more interested in what's going on.
Right.
I think it's like, it definitely softens the blow.
Dude, I forgot about that. Like the roommate small talk that you had to have.
I know,
Like when
all
you
the time.
brought someone back home with you.
There have been times where, like, luckily, when I was like, if I was bringing anyone back to the house, it was like 3 or 4. It was like when I was getting done work.
Right,
So they
right,
were
right.
usually in
Right.
bed. So I never really, however, them, though, I would be on the couch just like in jeans watching like Terminator 2 with 8 6-packs. She's like, hey, what's going on? How you doing?
Honestly, I can't imagine the girl walking and be like, actually, I'm gonna fuck that guy.
Dude, there's
I'm
been
actually gonna fuck that guy.
There's been a couple times where like I've been like, oh shit, I'll get out of you guys' way. I'm like, no, we're going upstairs. And she's like, oh, well, I was just gonna hang. I'm like, yeah, if you want, you can have some beers. You guys want some beers? Just falling in the kitchen, like, sorry, I made a mess in that kitchen. I'm really sorry. But like, you know, a lot of 9 times out of 10, they would just go straight upstairs. And it's like I'd been in their rooms prior to that. I'm like, what lady would go in there and be like,
Dude,
this is
I've lived with some people where it's just like it is like a disaster zone. Like I would, but also I would be that guy too because like my room was never like if I'm by myself, my room used to not be like clean.
Sure.
But I used to do that thing where it's like if I'm going out tonight,
Oh yeah, you always
do that quick clean.
Oh, I know what you do.
And I will say, there's nothing worse than not getting laid and then coming home to a clean bedroom and
So
you're like,
here's-
I wasted this on nobody.
Here's what I will say. I will say kind of the opposite. There's nothing better than coming home to a clean house knowing that it's just ready to go for anybody else. you know what's awesome? Cleaning all the pee that's on the side of the toilet off, making everything look great.
You're like, oh, maybe I
You
should
know what I'm
start
talking
living
about?
like
You're like,
this.
yo, how did I get pee everywhere? I don't even know how I got it on the side of the toilet. But I'm gonna get that out of there, dude. I'm gonna get that out of there, and I'm gonna put a candle in here and light it.
Dude.
Yeah, dude. You
You ever be like mid cleaning your apartment and then you get that text where it's like, I'm so sorry, but I can't.
Dude,
I can't tonight.
So
You just break the toilet scrubber in half.
the whole thing was I would clean, like, especially like before the pandemic and then going into it, I would clean my house every Monday. Like I would vacuum and make sure everything was like, just in case.
Right.
It was just like, I don't have to think about it. I never have to worry about it. And it's like,
that in itself just keeps you on your toes, because like there have been times where the only time that's ever been like a wrench in the gears, there's been times I've come home where my roommate is asleep on the couch, where like if I'm asleep on the couch, I look like I'm asleep on the couch.
Right.
As where he was asleep on the couch, it looked like someone shot him in the back of the head and left him there, and he would wake up like, oh.
Right.
And it's just like, what is this? I'm like, yeah, we were gonna watch a movie down here, but we can just go upstairs. In a way, it was like a fast track to going upstairs.
Right.
So can't hate on it. Totally. I don't know.
Well, it's also that moment where like you just walk in and someone's like, yeah, in their boxers, passing on the couch.
I mean, there's been times.
It's like, listen, we're both 24. You know what this is.
I think there's been one time where she was like, "Oh, when we get to your house, can I use the bathroom?" I'm like, "No, yeah, of course." I was like, "Yeah, of course you can, dude." We get home, and I'm going up to like, it's the first door like on the left. She's like, the door's locked. I'm like, "Oh, I think my roommate's in there. He'll be out soon." Dude, he shit so dude, and it was like so funny. Like to a point where like I was downstairs and he opened the door and that poop smell came screaming down the stairs, and she was like, I just can't go in yet. I'm like, oh my God.
She still stayed?
Yeah, she still stayed. I had to go up. Dude, I was opening the door and just like fucking fanning the shit out. I was like, I'm really sorry.
It's like when the smoke detector goes off, you gotta get like a bar rag and just.
Dude, I turned on the fans in the living room. I was like, it's fine, dude. It'll be done. And then she like, and actually, it really did make me seem like a nicer dude. I was just like, oh, baby, you shouldn't have to deal with this rancid dump smell that I've also done to him at some point.
Wait, who was it? Who took the dump?
Jeff Roser.
Yeah.
Great dude.
Yeah, but that guy.
Great dude.
He dumps.
But I mean, this was also like at a time where like, you know, he was working all the time. He just gets home. Like he's not bending over backwards for anybody. It's his house.
But also, that's what I'm saying.
Shit.
If you,
Yeah.
In what world? This isn't communist China.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
no.
If I pay rent, I will shit
Dude,
when I
shit
want.
the hardest you possibly could. I thought it was fucking hilarious that the fact that it was like perfectly timed. As we were getting in, we heard the door close.
Right.
So it's like either he was shitting with the door open and then close it, or he just walked in and he fucking unleashed hell on that toilet. And it's like, dude, she went in there and powered through it. And by the end of it, she was not turned on anymore. And I had to do so much makeup work. But, you know.
Hey, listen.
Look.
Fate rarely calls upon us at a moment of our choosing.
Did you write that?
No, it's from a Transformers movie.
This has been the End Podcast with Ryan Taylor. Lou, thank you so much for being on the fucking show.
Anytime.
Make sure you call the hotline 833-443-5300. We will address any comment, question, concern, or new ways you want to tell Danny's right about a fucking game show from the goddamn 90s into 2000s. We're going to switch it over to the Patreon later.